Hi, I'm Elly Kohistany. Good evening, SBI readers. Today we have here with us Mr. Douglas Driscoll, CEO of Starr Partners. How are you today, Douglas?
Very well, thank you.
Good to hear. So, Doug, would you like to introduce yourself first and your business?
Absolutely, as you said, Doug Driscoll from Starr Partners. For those that don't know us, Starr Partners are Sydney's largest franchise group. We have 28 offices. We deal with sales, property management, commercial and land and development, so the full spectrum if you like.
Excellent. And how did you come about to be CEO of Starr Partners today?
It was a case of right place, right time, I guess, but as you may tell from my accent, I'm not local to these parts. I worked most of my professional life in the UK. I moved to Australia about 2 years ago and landed the job of running Starr Partners probably about 18 months ago. Yeah, no, it's been an interesting journey.
What are some of the challenges that you would have faced in your journey to be where you are today?
Well, it's quite a comprehensive journey, certainly in a real estate sense anyway. I started my professional career at the very bottom as a trainee negotiator many moons ago, and obviously worked my way up every rung of the ladder. So I think it's fair to say that most instances I've been there, seen it, and certainly worn the t-shirt. But obviously there's a long way to go still, of course.
Definitely. Is there any specific moment in time that there was a specific challenge that you believe was a hurdle that you overcame that you can recall?
Yes, there was a little thing called the GFC, which I encountered. And I always say to anyone that listens, look, for me on a professional level, it was one of the best things that could have happened.
Yes.
Because I can assure you the economic tsunami that hit Europe and the rest of the world was far greater than that than Australia experienced. We saw transaction levels almost halve overnight, and you couldn't almost give houses away back in 2008. So having encountered and experienced that, I think it was strangely a very good experience.
Yes.
And not one I look back on favourably, but I've certainly learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah, I guess a varying outlook into it is learning those lessons and taking the positive instead of the negative from an occurrence like that.
Absolutely.
Which is a good perspective to have.
Yeah.
So looking at Sydney specifically, we've seen that it's topical in real estate that there's been an undersupply of housing in Sydney overall, which you have mentioned earlier in our conversation. What do you believe to be the reason for this? What we could say something very problematic for Sydney with the overpopulation of society. How do you think this came about, and where do you think we're headed?
Look, to be blunt, I think there's an element of greed. And when I say that, if you look at now the cost of actually building a property in the Sydney area, there are phenomenal infrastructure levies. And it's those infrastructure levies that essentially are strangling the market. Look, there's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of red tape as well. But as I say, just literally to build a house is now proving very, very expensive. Because everyone seems to have their sort of hands in the cookie jar, if you like. So unless there's a fundamental change in legislation somewhere on the line, that problem will continue. Now, something else that's continuing, of course, is the rapid rise of the Sydney population. It's a little known fact that West Sydney, where we predominantly operate, actually encompasses over 1/10 of the entire Australian population. And it's growing exponentially. So unless something's done and done soon, it's going to continue to get worse. At this moment in time, it's estimated that Australia has an undersupply of housing based on its population of somewhere in the region of 110,000. Based on that growth, it could reach 400,000 in 10 years' time. So something's got to happen, it's got to happen soon, and I can only assume it has to be intervention by federal government.
Definitely. For the everyday citizen or the everyday reader, if someone was looking to build today, where would you believe to be the best location in terms of the marketplace, the economic climate, and for future reference?
Well, look, it's very much subject to getting the planning approval, of course. But if it's an area where there's rezoning taking place, anywhere throughout metropolitan Sydney is a good area. The thing about Sydney, of course, is that it's obviously bordered by the sea on one side and the mountains on the other. So anywhere where there's existing infrastructure, both transport and otherwise, good amenities, anywhere really where there's potential for population growth, for me would be a good investment.
Thanks, Doug. So just finally to wrap up, where do you see real estate going in the future? We've seen these issues that are arising with the overpopulation, but where do you see us going in the future in Sydney?
Well, look, crystal ball time, but my view would be that the housing market in Sydney at this moment in time is very robust, it's very healthy, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. However, there are external factors that will influence the market, predominantly, of course, interest rates. With a toughening economy, I can't see interest rates going up a great deal more, and thus I think we'll see a healthy marketplace. So if we were talking anywhere between 2 and 5 years' time, I think it will be pretty much the same status quo.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Doug, for your time. Thanks again, SBI readers, and stay tuned for more. Have a lovely day.